Hi, Jessi. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good
Um,
to be back on with you.
for those who may not know, you are from season one, Squid Game, the challenge. You were player 220. Um, Before we jump into this current season, which is so wild, let's talk about how you got cast on season one. Can you tell me your casting story?
Yeah, so I mean, gosh, it was so long ago. Applications opened and I remember like following all these casting directors right before and seeing Squid Game the challenge get posted and I was like, "Huh, that's random. Okay, could be fun." Like I could cut that cookie out. Sure. Red light, green light, that's easy. So I literally applied like the very first day that I saw a casting announcement and like within 24 hours like I had a Zoom call and they were like, "Oh my god, like your story's so great. Like let's get you through this."
Wow.
Um and then, as all casting processes are, they 6 months later, finally in December, I get the email like, "Congrats, you're going to London." And I was like, "What? This is so random." Like, okay.
Oh my gosh. So have you seen, like, did you see the first season of the regular Squid Game on Netflix, or were you just going for
Yeah,
the
I remember when the show came out and I watched it a little begrudgingly. I was like, "I don't know if I'll like that." And then it was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I agree. Like, I like horror. I'm into that stuff, but some people, even if you're not into it, it was just like so intense.
Right. I'm like the
Yeah.
first episode of like Red Light, Green Light, I was like, this
Yeah.
like this is Black Mirror times like 12. Like
Right, exactly. Oh my gosh. So yeah, you got pretty far actually in your season. You played Red Light, Green Light. Let's talk about that. I know we kind of discussed it in our last, I think it was our TikTok live what we did, but this will be posted everywhere. So let me get your thoughts on Red Light, Green Light because they're gonna be playing it again, not with 456 people, four people. Anyways, let me shut up. Let me get your thoughts on that.
I mean, it just like if you could have been in the dorms with us the day after we made it through, it was all anybody could talk about because it like still like such a monumental day. I mean, like you see it on TV and it's like 5 minutes, I think they edit it down to, but like that for us was like up at 3 a.m. Like we drove 3 hours and then we're in hours and hours and hours of prep. Like I did not get home that night until 3 a.m. the next morning because filming Red Light, Green Light took like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Every red light was 30 minutes and it was freezing and it was our first game. Everybody was nervous and didn't know what was going on. And then, all of a sudden, pop, 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 there's like three dead people next to you on the ground playing dead. Absolutely
Wow.
wild.
Yeah, that is insane. I heard horror stories about that. What do you think about their decision to not start with Red Light, Green Light this season?
when when I saw that first like 15-minute preview drop, and actually I knew it was coming because in February, 220 from season 2 found me on Instagram and like gave me the tea on the first game. And so all summer leading up to it, I was like, this is gonna suck. It's terrible. Like they're not getting the right treatment. And so when the show finally dropped, like our Squid Game season 1 group chat is blowing up like, they don't have the real experience. And like I kind of agree. So like it sucks. I feel for the players because it is so out of your control, right? Like red light, green light was like so hard and mentally
Mhm.
difficult and physically difficult, but at least like you had control over your game.
Right.
Like I can't imagine rolling up after like weeks of mental prep and then to just be told to sit back and hope
Mhm.
for the best.
I know.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like it felt a little low stakes to me because we don't
Yeah.
know anybody yet. So like it's
Mhm.
just kind of like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna wipe out half this group. Bye." Like,
Right. Yeah. And speaking of not knowing any of them, what do you feel like the show being like 9, 10 episodes? Do you feel rushed like I am in getting to know these people? Like the last
I
five, I'm like, who are they?
yeah, like they cut an entire hour of
Yeah.
programming. But like on top of that, I actually noticed that like most of the episodes are only 45 minutes instead of like the full 55 to an hour. So like that's another hour cut,
Wow.
basically 2 episodes. And so I don't know like if that decision was just to try to up the pacing a little bit, like they thought there was too much dorm time, which is funny because everybody who plays the game is like there's not enough dorm time in the show. Like
Yeah.
but like I'm torn because it feels like to me, I remember watching the first set come out, and I was actually with Dash in New York, like at the premiere, and we were like, "Oh my god, like this is crazy! They're just giving them so much, like so many opportunities to play." And I was like a little jealous. I was like, that would have been so cool to just be like in it, and it just constantly be like, bam, 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 like activity,
Mhm.
activity, activity. So like the trade-off between the first thing you see is like half the cast wiped off, which I thought was like meh,
Mhm.
to like the pacing of everything just being like cutthroat and breakneck. Like I'm in it. Like
Yeah.
I don't need the
Now we're
slow
good.
burn. I'm like, give it to me quick.
Okay. What do you think of like the new twists? Like we saw a new vending machine was introduced, the doll, so we got scratchers. Yeah, give me your thoughts on all of those.
They have it so easy. I mean, so obviously like there's more threat of being eliminated, but you know, like if you lay kind of low and you're just chilling, like you don't make any enemies, like you shouldn't have anything to worry about. So like the fact that they have extra snacks all the time, like they're calling in vending machine donut parties and like all this extra stuff. We were like, what kind of glam dorm life do they have? Bring back that porridge.
The porridge. Would you have taken a scratcher or like gotten a chance with the doll at all? Would you have done any of that?
I I think that would have been too early for me to want to take the risk. Um, but I think like obviously I have a different perspective having done the show and you
Mhm.
know seen like how people's decisions played out. But I think that like in the moment, realistically, right? Like you're only there for like 2 or 3 days
Yeah.
by the time these cuts are happening. So I think I would have been too scared to do that. But maybe by um like the hall monitors, right?
Yeah.
Spoiler, but like, you know, like things like that, I would have been more like, I need to make moves, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, no, for sure. Now let's talk about the new games because there are quite a few. I don't know, have you seen real quick, have you seen season 2 of the Royal Squid Game?
Yes.
Okay, I have not. Shame on me. I
Ooh,
skipped right ahead to the challenge. So I don't know if any of these games, I don't know if any of these games are actually on season 2 or not. So let me know if they are. Um,
mingle.
Mingle, oh, my kids know it. I'm like, really? From Roblox. Okay. they, they know
A
it. I'm like,
constant.
all right. I know. So the count, what did you think of that? Well, you already explained that was kind of lame. Let's skip that. The six-legged pentathlon? Am I saying that right?
Yes. So that was one of the games in the original show. They did swap
Okay.
a few of the like mini games.
Okay.
So like the ball in the cup was not in Squid Game proper.
Um,
Which that one cracked me up because like I'm from Williamsburg, Virginia, with like colonial Williamsburg. So like we grew up with like kids' birthday parties and they would play this colonial game. And I was like, I can't believe they're doing it on Netflix.
oh my God. I couldn't do that game. I've tried at birthday parties, like you said. I'm not good at that.
I think that's like the only one that I would have volunteered for.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, like throw like I'm lefty, so like
Okay.
throwing, you know, chucking the thing and trying to knock stuff over. I'm terrible at bowling, would not do that.
Yeah.
But like, you know, catching the gongji, like, I say, give me my
Yeah.
little colonial history. I could do that. These
Oh,
bar games.
the poor girl doing the house of cards with the bent shaking like a leaf and the bent cards.
Why did she crumple them?
I don't know. Was she shaking so much that like she got overpowered in strength and just
I
like
get like she just oh.
poor thing. That
I
was
know. I
wild.
can imagine how stressful it was. Like so at the premiere party for season 2, I got to talk to like a bunch of the players from season 2, which this new cast is just absolutely fabulous. They're so
Oh my
fun.
God. Oh,
But they were saying like obviously, you know, it takes way longer to film than it looks like, and they weren't expecting like the game so quick. You know, they had what they did different this season was like they got to move into the dorms like right away.
Yeah.
So the first thing they saw was the account was technically like a dorm test. Um, which was interesting because like they're settled, you know, and then like
Mhm.
they play this big crazy pentathlon game and they're like, oh crap, like now we're already like they did the alliance thing a little earlier by like having them form teams and then split them in half.
Yeah.
So it became very clear like very quickly how social this season was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Now, what do you think about Catch? Was Catch in the original?
No, and
Oh, okay.
I saw the title
Yeah.
and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, they have to
It's
catch
like
a
almost like
ball.
rock, paper, scissors. Like,
Yeah,
no,
I was
don't
like,
do it
this
again.
is so lame. Why do these games suck? But that was one of my favorite episodes, I think, like all the way
Yes.
through. I thought the characters that they introduced were just so compelling and like heartwarming. And you really, really, really did not want like, you know, some of our favorites to go home the way that they did. Just like we were like me and Dash were like watching it together, like
Yeah.
sobbing. It was awful.
Yes.
But the twist they put on that, I thought it was just so smart. Like
Mhm.
it was just a well-designed, well thought out game. The social aspect of who's first and last, and then the fact that you can go for other teams or not, you know, like save yourself, but you're both out. It just was clever and very,
Mhm.
very entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. Very, it's like simple if you look at it, but it's
Yeah.
actually kind of, yeah, like you said, strategic, and I liked it too. Now Mingle, you said obviously we know that's from the first one. What did you think of them playing Mingle? Because oh my, I thought somebody was gonna get stepped on.
No comment. That was another one that I was looking forward to seeing because of my like early early year combos with 220 part two was how bad Mingle got. Like I think if they had an equivalent of red light, green light as far as like the drama, it was
Mhm.
Mingle. And we were laughing, dark laughing during the viewing party that we had because like when it came up there was a part where like it very clearly switches to like a little music montage and we were like, "Oh, that's when the lawsuits happened." Um, yeah, but you can imagine watching it, like how easy it is to
Yeah.
start like throwing hands. You know, you're
Yes.
stressed. It takes forever. Everybody is like switching friend groups and slamming door. Like, of course, it's gonna
Yeah.
be unsafe to some degree. So, God, it was crazy to me, like that they played Mingle, but they didn't want to attempt tug of war.
I know. Yes. Ugh. That, I mean, I loved it. Now, what was really interesting and thought out was the classic shoots and ladders, but they call it slides and ladders. That one was good. I really enjoyed
I'm
that.
that is the one game that I'm like, I don't even care if I got out. I was like, they got to get eliminated by slide? Are you joking? Like, what a way to go. Cowabunga. Like,
I know.
I thought,
No,
I was like, that actually looks like such a fun game. And I know like people like hate, right? Like, there's a lot of online hate right now about like just like on the players playing that particular game being like, why are they all crying? I can't believe this is not that serious. But like put yourself in their shoes, right? They've been living with like deprived food and sleep and literally like no sunlight, probably at that point for like a week, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is when you're like in constantly in it and they've had so many things thrown at them. And then on top of that, now you're in this set. There's fluorescent lights like shining at you. There's this whole rainbow. You're up on a grid. Like we saw from the behind the scenes videos that like Netflix posted that they were literally like raised up into the air, like, you know,
yes, I
high
saw that.
enough that there's like, you know, there's airbags and stuff, but it's kind of
Hmm.
scary.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, it's like probably like a 4 hour plus game by the
Yeah,
time they say, player, pick up the die, talk to your neighbor, roll the die, walk, you know, like everything. It just starts like, ugh, like
that
grating
was
on your
good.
stress.
Applause for that. That was a good impression. Um,
Thank you, thank you.
no, no, there's so many players, numbers, however you want to remember them. But who stood out the most from you for you from this cast?
I think in the latter half of the season, it's like exactly who you would think, you know, like
Mhm.
Perla and is his name Mike? Like 98, our villain,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Um, so like they're guiding us the way that they want to. And I did think it was interesting, because like my faves from the show, obviously 220, but he got out early, rest his soul. Are like Mark and Viper.
Yeah.
And Sam, like just these early characters that got out super super quick somehow, but it's just because the cuts were brutal
Hmm.
and early and quick. But I thought more I thought it was an interesting parallel with like our lived experience on season 1. After the battleship game, like everybody was like, whoa, so many like big personalities, so many stars just went home. And I think the same thing kind of happened, is like that these loud, interesting, like vibrant people sort of like washed out in the first half of the show. And then not that they're left with boring people, but they tended
Right.
to be left with more like calculated, concerning, quieter people in the
Yeah.
second half of the show, which I just thought it was interesting that happened both times.
Yeah.
So like by the time you get to Circle of Trust, you're not sitting in there with like a ham, you're sitting there with people that are like poker facing you for real.
Yes. Yeah. So Netflix is planning to bring back someone from this season to next season. What do you think of that? And what would you say if they asked you to come back?
I think it's rude that they didn't ask season 1. Um, I have a very personal vendetta with 432 to settle, but um, I do think it's an interesting twist. I think it's going to put a target on somebody's back immediately in season 3, but it makes me wonder what they're planning, right? Because they're running out of original games. We notably have not seen Jump Rope yet.
Okay.
Like a proper Squid Game, and
Yeah.
then Hide and Seek. Like
Okay.
those are like the 3 biggies from the season 2, season 3 arc that I think people are like waiting for but haven't seen yet. And so I think those will come into play, but I'm curious to see if they're going to take season 3 way into the like alliances strategic, like throw these curveballs at them, or if
Mhm.
they'll take it closer to season 1, which was more true to like the game structure, like in the TV show proper,
Yeah.
was very like play the game, win the game, continue.
Yeah.
um so like the thought of bringing somebody back, it just makes you kind of go like, huh, where are they
Mhm.
going with this?
Yeah. I agree. So on TikTok, you are very vocal about some tea, and you've mentioned some little tidbits here and there. What can you share that you know about?
So kind of on the tail end of the question you just asked me, in addition to the contest, which is obviously great for publicity, it's exciting for players on season 2, they have explicitly sent invites to everyone from Red Light Green Light that did not make it in our season. And the entire O team got follow-up links to submit and cut the line a little bit for season 3.
Oh,
So it might be like a lot of maybe not familiar faces, but like
right.
maybe if he wears Waldo enough, like um so like true redemption round in season 3 for like
Oh
a
my
bunch
gosh.
of people potentially. And I know those Red Light Green Light fam, they're coming back strong.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm really kind of upset that they're not going to invite more of you guys, but whatever.
We got it, we're the OGs, we just have to sit back and let these
You
youths
do.
take over.
Nothing will compare. This season is really good, but in my opinion, like the first one really had me sit down and like I was just way more into it. I don't know how to explain it, but this one is good too.
Yeah,
There's
I,
nothing
I
like your
think
first.
like there's something novel, right, about like A, being the first ones to do it, but
Mhm.
the thought that we really did like follow the TV show close and seeing people like play it
Yeah.
in real life. And there were enough new things, but this season too is like it feels like less of a fan service to the show itself and more of a fan service to like Big Brother fans that like the
Mhm.
twists in the family and the infighting and the crazy random mini games. So it's just like it feels like a completely different show to me, but they just
Yeah.
get to wear tracksuits.
Right. What was one of your favorite moments from this season?
Ooh, I so I just like recently watched the second batch of episodes. I loved the catch game. Like I said, I thought that was like
Mhm.
super, super clever and just well thought through. But I really loved like shoots and ladders, slides and ladders. And I thought that it was so sweet when I think it was it blue, purple, one of the teams, they got sent to the slide together and they ended up on the shoots, and the guy just was like, "I'll go first. Like if you see
Yeah.
me go out, take the other one. If not, we're
Yes.
both." And I was like, "Oh, chivalry is not dead."
Yeah, and he did. Didn't he did go out.
And he did. Like he really took one for the team. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like little moments like that. I'm like it's nice to see like humanity in all the
Yeah.
craziness a few
Yeah.
times.
Right. What
Um
was one of your favorite moments from your season?
Gosh, I feel like so many of them are like didn't even make the airtime, but
No.
I think the first time we saw Circle of Trust, like
Mm-hmm.
that whole episode, like hearing about it in our like behind the scenes thing was one thing, but like seeing it play out for the first time, this brand new, like very skeezy game, like I was like totally locked in the whole
Yeah.
time. And like Phil and Meyer just like pew pew pew. Like it was just crazy. It was just good
Yeah.
TV.
It was great TV. Even this round, this one was great TV too. Oh my God. I can't believe I forget his name. I think it's 183. He's there now at the end. He spilled that he put the box on Faith, right? To her best friend, who's also there at the bottom, at the top five, I keep saying bottom. And then he tells the other one that he is a millionaire. I'm like, what is this guy doing?
He is he's such a man. We love a good villain. What I appreciate about him as like the villain of this show, like versus like
Mhm.
Brighton, right?
Yeah.
Is like I think he is just like a little bit like he's a poker player, right? He's a little
Yeah.
bit of a showman, and I'm like kind of inclined to believe like yes, he's kind of an asshole, like, but some of it is just him putting on a front or like doing the bit of being
Hmm.
like whatever. These people like I'm a poker player. I'm rich. I don't care. So I don't think he should win, but he is more enjoyable to watch, I
Yeah.
think, than like Brighton, who is just full of himself and like a dick for no reason.
And yeah, yeah. He was something. You got him out though.
Bye.
Thanks, Captain.
Anytime. Public service. Talking about self-sacrifice.
Oh my God, right? Okay, just a couple more questions while I have you. What do you think of the top five and who are you rooting for to win?
It is it is definitely not the top 5 that I would have picked, from that first batch. I don't think
Yeah.
I would have picked any of them, but that's the fun and the surprise, right?
Yeah.
Crazy that our villain is still in the finale. Insane. I thought he was going out. Like I thought
Yeah.
he was gonna get shoots and laddered out of the game. I'm coming for you and my revenge, blah blah blah. But I think he's in for it if there's any kind of social vote in this last set.
Mm.
And I really am pulling for Perla right now.
Yeah.
I love her story, and I think she just plays smart, but she's also very honest. And I mean, like watching her, like like be like in the end and like neck and neck and shoots and ladders. I was just like, okay, I'm rooting for you now.
Yeah. She's actually, I rewatched a little bit of it from, I think I rewatched like 4 episodes. She's in every episode from the beginning. So I don't know if there's any foreshadowing in there, but
They gotta sprinkle enough.
I don't know. Yeah. So thank you, thank you, thank you for doing this with me. Before we go, what do you have going on, and where can people follow you?
Well, I'm just doing my local performing thing, but I have another show coming out soon
Yes, sir.
ish.
Ooh,
On Prime. We don't have a premiere date yet, but I I will be on screen for that one. And
awesome. Oh,
we
I'm
have
so
some fun
excited.
little moments there. But other than that, just like waiting for the finale of Squid Game: The Challenge like everybody else, and then also can't wait to see what happens with season 3 and where they're going, because those deadlines are coming up. Like they're wrapping up casting and they're gonna start filming in like
Yeah.
February.
Wow.
Um,
That's crazy.
and if there's one thing about the Squid fam is that we are nosy, and we will find the tea out before the season drops.
I love it. I love the little family. Where can people find you, Jessi?
Yep, I'm everywhere on TikTok, Instagram at Jessi DiPette, the one and only with my name, so usernames are easy. But
I love it. And it's
yeah,
easy to
just
find you guys because you all have your tracksuits and your numbers. So
that part.
Mhm.
I
It's
love
easy for
that
me.
when they were given like their materials, and then my whole TikTok feed, I literally scrolled one day for like 15 straight minutes, and every single
Yes.
one was a new player.
I did that the other day.
I just started calling. I said, "Welcome to the fam." Like,
Yeah. I'm just like add. All
like
right.
literally the the amount of followers just from like our little crew.
Oh,
If you've
I
had that
love it.
porridge, you get it. I think it's just like a trauma bond.
Yeah, definitely a trauma bond. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I appreciate it so
Sure.
much. Bye, Jessi.
Bye.